To pat the ball or not pat the ball? That is the question, the weird question that we will be answering in today's video. It's always funny in draft season, these unique little things that come up, these weird storylines that happen. And one of the weird storylines came after a video of Shedeur Sanders throwing the football. Essentially all started with one tweet. It was a tweet from Andre Cisco who said, "Boys better stop patting that ball. We breaking on that early." This was, again, in response to a clip of Sanders patting the football, and this sparked discourse, we'll call it. Darius Slayton then responded, won't go through read every word, but essentially he was saying that patting the ball is not an issue. To kind of translate some of the football terminology, more or less saying that the same guys who will constantly fall for the same concepts every year are now going to pretend like they can see a ball pat, and that's going to make a significant difference in them being able to jump on the ball, which is probably true. Micah Parsons, though, had a disagreement with Darius Slayton, saying, "You realize a pat on the ball can be the difference between a sack or a throwaway / completion." Then Slayton responded, Micah Parsons responded to that. I'll skip ahead a little bit, but you see the first tweet was Tom Brady, literally the king of getting the ball out of his hands, would always pat the ball. Micah Parsons then said, "Comparing the greatest quarterback to ever," I'm assuming he meant live, "to Sanders is why I'll never entertain a football conversation with you. Like, what are we doing here?" Which I don't think Darius Slayton is saying that Sanders and Tom Brady are the same player, just simply saying Tom Brady's mechanics are incredible and he would pat the ball. If he would do it, clearly it's something that you can do. But what happened? How did we get here? For one thing, I love that NFL players are now at the point where they're arguing on Twitter like how we all do. I think that's fun. But what does patting the ball actually mean? Is there actually an advantage or a disadvantage to it? And the answer is yes. There is both an advantage and a disadvantage to something like this. I usually have a football by my desk for demonstrations like this. I don't know where I put it. I have the one that I have signed, but I don't want to get that dirty. So I'll use a GameCube to display what I am going to talk about here. But essentially, the reason why quarterbacks like to pat the ball is when you pat the ball, it essentially forces your shoulders to be square. It's a way of essentially going through your regular throwing motion, getting into position a little bit quicker. Basically, if you don't pat the ball, you could be fine. Just get your shoulders square. But the theory behind it is you might not square up your shoulders the way you would if you pat the ball. Patting the ball is a way to guarantee that you do that. Of course, there is the disadvantage, which is that means you have to actually take a little bit of an extra second to do that, which in theory you would be doing anyway. But also the other disadvantage is the defense now sees you're getting ready to throw the football and can potentially adjust to it. The issue with that line of thinking is it happens so quickly. I think I should mention that that's a GameCube that doesn't work. I don't just own a GameCube for display purposes. It's a broken GameCube, which is why I turned it into display purposes. But nonetheless, let's show a clip of Shedeur Sanders himself patting the football. So right here, I'm going to pause it as he's getting ready to throw it. I'm going to pause it right before he's, you could argue he's now just getting in throwing motion. I wouldn't. I would say this is just before he's getting into the throwing motion, getting ready to throw the football. And I want to really use this to show just how quick the pat from the throw is. So I'm going to show this once just in real speed, real quick. And watch. Blink and you'll miss it. That's very quick. You do not see much of anything. So I'm going to slow it down so we can actually see what's happening. But you see right here, the ball pat, again, it's kind of part of just the traditional throwing motion, right? This is not that, lengthy of an extension. If it took a full second to do it or something like this, I understand it. But his entire throwing motion in general is still very quick. And it's actually one of the things I praised him when I did my evaluation of him is the fact that I think he gets the ball out very quickly. And again, you see other quarterbacks, they do essentially the same thing. Here's Cam Ward, another quarterback from this draft class who's probably going to go first overall, patting the football. You also have Patrick Mahomes. Yes, his name's Pat Mahomes. Of course, he pats the football. And then Tom Brady, of course, was the king of patting the football and also having a quick release. So ultimately, does this matter? Yes, a little bit it does. This is a slight disadvantage because of the fact that you are selling that you're going to throw the ball slightly earlier. But it's not really enough of an advantage that a defense is ever going to be able to adjust that quickly. The reaction time isn't that smooth. And the reality is, with offensive and defensive linemen in the way, you're probably not noticing it until you actually see the throwing motion. And when you consider the positive trade-offs of it making sure that you're in position, which again, if there's any quarterback gurus in the comments, definitely get into more detail about it. Everything is just what I ask people and what I've read about it. But definitely, the advantages that you do get are well worth the negative trade-off. Again, I can understand why defensive players, though, when they see something like this, just think, oh, hey, this is a slight tell to help us out. So why would you do that as an offensive player? But it's not like it's, happening 3 seconds before the play. It's not giving you that much of a tell, really. But that's the interesting thing about football, right? Is Micah Parsons and Andre Cisco are experts at what they do. They could probably explain the ins and outs of their technique left and right, but ultimately they are, experts in their field. Doesn't mean you're an expert in every field, even when it is all under the umbrella of football. Ultimately, you have to, I know Shedeur Sanders has worked with Tom Brady. You have to kind of just assume that those guys know more about this situation, and that does seem to be the case here. Is Shedeur Sanders' patting the football a reason to not draft him? I think you already know the answer to that. But yeah, that's just what I think about all of this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching to the end of that video. I do appreciate it. If you want to see my other channel, Jackson Kruger Movies, where I talk about movies, give some film reviews and stuff like that of a different kind, if that seems like your kind of thing, the link is in the description below for that, as is the link for my Twitter account. I'm at Jackson Kruger, so give me a follow on there if that's your kind of thing. And also, of course, remember to hit the subscribe button on this channel. I do always appreciate it. And thanks again for watching to the end of the video.